Hello, true believers. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and I hope you're up for it because we have 5 more undervalued comics for us to take a look at today. All right, so there's lots of these production delays. Apparently, are starting to come to an end, and they're going to get back to work and start filming again. So that shortens our window to get those spec books into our collection before we see a trailer or some sort of announcement that confirms a character, um, or a release of a movie, obviously. Then lots of these books hit that spike as soon as there's a confirmation of the character. Everybody runs to eBay or their LCS, whatever, and snaps it up as much as they can. So this movie is up for a reboot, and it is a movie from 1988, and this comic comes from 1989. And I am going to pick from 1989 Clive Barker's Hellraiser #2. So why #2? Well, #1 has the first appearance of Pinhead, but only on a cover, right? So it would be a cameo appearance or a cover appearance of something. But his first full appearance in a story happens. In #1, he does not appear in the comic at all. He does appear in the stories here in this comic. So this is Pinhead's first full appearance, #2. So #1 saw quite a spike with the cover appearance of Pinhead. It went from a $5 book to a $25 book real fast. And this book has remained at the $5 level, even though it is Pinhead's first full appearance. I don't know what the reboot's going to be like. I don't know what kind of money they're throwing at it, or who's going to be directing. There's a lot of still unanswered questions about that movie. Could be good. Sometimes when you reboot a cult classic, it can be really good. Sometimes when you reboot a cult classic, it's just people just reject it, right? So hopefully they'll do right by Hellraiser, and we'll get a good reboot of the movie, and we'll see this book once people start realizing that this is his actual first appearance of Pinhead. That this book will also see a spike. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a $300 book by any means, but it definitely could turn into a $15, $20 book rather soon, or at least closer to the movie release. So, from 1989, Clive Barker's Hellraiser #2. Look to pay around $5 for this one. A super nice minty copy, maybe 10. All right. Don't go on eBay to buy that one. You can find that Hellraiser book around. I mean, unless you're not anywhere near a comic book shop, maybe not. But don't FOMO it. Do your shopping. You can find it for $5. So this next book I have on my list here. I've seen it on other spec channels before, but I think it's a really good pick, so I'm going to use it too. And the reason I'm using it is just because these modern characters have seen such huge spikes, right? Like first appearance of Miles Morales, huge, goes for huge money right now. Spider-Gwen, Ms. Marvel, right? All these modern characters that are realizing a big spike. I mean, Ultimate Fallout 4, I think there was one that just sold for over $3,000. Like, yikes! That's getting to be a pretty penny for a modern comic book. So I like this first appearance of a modern character, and it is from 2002, and it is the new X-Men #128, the first appearance of Phantom X. So Phantom X is a popular character. He was a part of X-Force. Definitely one of the fan favorites when reading this book. If they're going to draw mutants into the MCU at some point. How that's going to happen, I don't know. Whether it's going to be X-Men, whether it's going to be X-Force, whether it's going to be both of them. If they do a rebooting kind of X-Force with Deadpool, and Ryan Reynolds has kind of been back for, I don't even know if he knows what's happening with Deadpool. But if X-Force does, very good chance that Phantom X will show up as part of X-Force. Very popular character, modern, so they're talking about Disney always trying to draw in a new audience, right? They can't always rely on us older guys to buy tickets forever from all these comic book characters we knew from the 70s and 80s. They need new guys too, and there's lots of fans of Phantom X. So popular character, has a great backstory. He's a fun character. He has cool powers, all kinds of stuff, right? Makes him a good candidate to show up in that. And if you're going to grab 128, you might as well grab 129, which has his first cover appearance, right? So I paid $40 for the two of these, which I thought was a pretty reasonable price. There are some on eBay right now that are priced way crazy. Don't buy Don't pay too much for this book. Just because someone's asking that price doesn't mean you got to pay for it. Do your shopping. You can find this book. Kind of fallen off the radar a little bit for people, so it's not too hard to find and get it at a half decent price, right? Like if you can get a lot with the two of them in it for around $40, you're doing well. So that's what I paid. So I figured that this one goes for about 10, this one about 30. So from 2002, new X-Men number 128 and 129, which would make together the first full appearance of Phantom X, a possible character for an X-Force team, if they make an appearance in the movie. Deadpool was such a big, popular movie. Disney's not just gonna want to be like, yeah, forget that. $1 billion, we don't need that. Well, I mean, they don't, but they do, right? So expect Deadpool, expect something more mutants that are popular. All right, so let's do a Black Widow spec, and her movie's gonna come out. There is a release date for spring, I think. I'm not sure. Should have been out by now. Soon it'll be out again. We're gonna get some more trailers. We're gonna get some more stuff. There's this really huge actor from Europe that has kind of been hinting that he is going to be first appearance of this character. And the book I picked is from 1981, and it is The Incredible Hulk number 258, which has the first appearance of this big guy here, Ursa Major, and the first full team appearance of the Soviet super soldiers. Right, so Ursa Major was part of the Soviet super soldiers team. The Soviet super soldiers were kind of, Russia's answer to the Avengers, right? They have very similar sort of team structure as the Avengers does, kind of make a dichotomy there. Um, this book, uh, this book hasn't seen the same kind of price rise as a lot of other Black Widow specs. You can still find this book for around $10, right? That's what I paid for this one. It's not in bad shape in any way, shape, or form. It's actually very fine condition. And there's an incorrect listing that this guy, Ursa Major, is first appearances in The Incredible Hulk 250, which has the first cameo appearance of the Soviet super soldiers. However, in that cameo, they're kind of in the background in this little panel, and they don't, and Ursa Major isn't in there, right? So it's just Dark Star, the Crimson Dynamo, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Anyway, Ursa Major is not in the Incredible Hulk 250. He doesn't make his first full appearance, or he doesn't make any appearance until this book here in 258. So I'm thinking that this character is pretty close to a lock for that one. All of these Soviet super soldier characters could be a lock for Black Widow movies, right? They're going to continue those Black Widow movies past this one. I mean, depending on how well it does at the box office. But I think it's poised to do real well at the box office because everybody, including myself, is chomping at the bit to actually go to the movies and see a Marvel movie. Man, I miss going to the movies more than I thought I would, right? But it seems like it's been forever. Looking forward to August 28th release of The New Mutants. Not quite sure how that movie's going to play out, but I'm still going to go see it. Anyway, this book, I think this character is almost a lock. If he's not in this movie, he's going to be soon in one of the Black Widow movies, along with all of these characters. They all very much connect to the Black Widow. They were all part of like that underground stuff there, and the Red Room training and all the spy training and stuff. A lot of these characters have big connections to the Black Widow, right? Besides just being Russian. So, as the movies continue on, there's more and more chance that if they don't show up in the first one, they'll be in the next one. And like I said, you can still find this book $10-15 for a decent copy of this book. Again, don't FOMO. You're not going to miss out right away. Do a little bit of shopping, and you can still get this book in time before we actually see Ursa Major confirmation in a trailer or something like that. But so from 1981. Incredible Hulk 258, first appearance of Ursa Major, first full team appearance of the Soviet super soldiers. Right, look to pay $10 to $15 for a decent copy of that book, a collectible copy. Okay, so this next book on our list, we all know that there is a Black Adam movie. It's going to star Dwayne Johnson. He's going to start filming that movie soon, apparently. So let's get a Black Adam spec in here. And one of the specs that I think could be a good thing. We all know that Black Adam, Shazam, the Wizard Shazam, they're all their powers are all based on magic, right? The Wizard Shazam gave Captain Marvel his powers through magic. Black Adam also has these same powers through magic. And one of the big guys that they've been rumoring and talking about, and it kind of makes sense because he is a magic guy, appears in this book. And it is Dr. Fate #1 from 2015. And it has the first appearance of a character named Khalid Nasur, right? So he has real good ties to magic and Egypt, which is where Black Adam comes from. He's Egyptian, and he was banished from our uh, galaxy by the Wizard Shazam. And when he comes back, it took like or a few thousand years for him to fly back, but that's probably how he'll show up. This guy has connections to Egypt, of course, much more than Kent Nelson, who is the original Dr. Fate. Very good chance that if they're going to put Dr. Fate in there, they'll pick Kent Nelson over Khalid Nasser. Could be both, could be just him. Now, Kent Nelson's first appearance as Dr. Fate happens in More Fun Comics #55 from 1940. And if you have, tens of thousands of dollars to go ahead and drop on a comic book, please go ahead and buy a copy of More Fun Comics #55. However, if you're like me and you only have, a limited comic budget, as most of us do, this is a great first appearance and a chance at maybe having a character that will show up in the Black Adam movie in some way. So Khalid Nasir, again, was the Dr. Fate from the modern times. I think he could be the one because again they're trying to bring in new fans, right? They don't want to just have all those old golden age characters all the time. Let's bring in some new guys, people that new comic readers are more familiar with. Instead, if you want to go out and buy More Fun Comics #55 and get Dr. Fate, the original Dr. Fate's first appearance, it's a pretty penny for that book, right? All big DC comic characters, Golden Age appearances are always worth money, especially if they happen before 1945, because a lot of comics were destroyed during World War II. They had major paper drives, and people would gather up old newspapers, old magazines, old comics, and deliver them for recycling for the war effort. So a lot of comics got destroyed during the war era of World War II. Right, so getting a book that comes from 1940 is a good is always going to be super expensive as compared to a book coming from 1946, perhaps, right, where those drives stopped. This is not a $10,000 book, so I think it could very well be. He's young. Again, he's going to appeal to the more modern viewer, modern comic reader. He does have bigger connections to Egypt. He is related to the original Dr. Fate. I think he's his great grandnephew or something like that. So there's a connection there back to the original one. If they're going to pick a Dr. Fate, they're either going to pick Kent Nelson, like I said, or they're going to pick Khalid Nasir. So this book has come and gone on the kind of a up and down spiking. Right now, it's super cheap. You can find this book easily $5, $10, right? You go out and just nobody's really looking at it. But if there's even a hint of Dr. Fate showing up in Black Adam, I would expect to see this book take a rise. It may not see as much of a rise as the Kent Nelson first appearance, but a lot of people will, take that $5 chance that Khalid Nasir will show up. And like I said, he kind of fits into the whole idea of Black Adam better than Kent Nelson does, right? Kent Nelson, doesn't have that same Egyptian connection in the background, right? Like, so he does, and Black Adam does, and in a way, Captain Marvel does. So again, from 2015, this is Dr. Fate #1, first appearance of Khalid Nasir, possibly in the Black Adam movie. Look to pay around the $5 to $10 mark for a mint condition copy of this book. It is not on anybody's real radar at the moment. All right, so a cheap book that you can get. All right, and last on the list, and this book has gone under the radar for a while now, and it is a Blade spec. Let's do a Blade spec. So, we all know Blade's first appearance is Tomb of Dracula number 10, right? Jumped up in price like crazy. It is a very expensive book now. However, that movie is almost guaranteed that they are going to have a major villain in this guy, and that would be from 19. Sorry, take a look at my notes. From 1976, it is Tomb of Dracula number 45, which has the first full appearance of Deacon Frost in it. Right, so Deacon Frost is the vampire that bit Blade's mom, killed her, and created Blade. He's got a little cameo appearance in Tomb of Dracula 13, which has Blade's origin story. He's in two little panels. They don't mention him by name. You don't see him interacting with Blade. He's not actually in the book. He's just in a flashback. So cameo is what that one is. His first full appearance, where they name him, he's on the cover, he's in continuity in the book, is here in number 45. And this book still flying way under the radar. I mean, Tomb of Dracula is getting hotter. This is a Bronze Age book, right? Just 25 center. And I think Deacon Frost is a very, very good chance of being one of the major villains in the upcoming Blade movie, right? Blade has always, sought revenge for the death of his mom and making him a vampire. So that would be this guy, Deacon Frost. Blade is scheduled to get back into production and be released soon. It's definitely, a confirmed movie with some great actors attached to it. And I think that it's a very, very good chance that Deacon Frost is going to show up in there. This book is selling somewhere in the $20 to $30 range. I got lucky. I found this one in the wild for $8, right? So they're still out there. You can still hunt them down if you're looking hard enough. But if you're going to go on eBay, this one's still selling for around the $20 to $30 range. And it could be the major villain appearance from the Blade movie that's coming up, right? So first appearance of Deacon Frost, Tomb of Dracula number 45 from 1976. Look to pay somewhere around the $20 to $30 range for a mint condition copy of this book. And you can still find them out in the wild. A lot of people don't realize this is Deacon Frost's first appearance, don't realize who even Deacon Frost is. So grab this book while you can before it starts to show up on everybody's radar as the major villain appearance in the Blade movie. Right? If we see a trailer with a priest that, vampire priest in it, that's Deacon Frost. And this book will definitely see a spike. Like I said, number 13 has Blade's origin story, cameo appearance of Deacon Frost, but he's only in two panels, no dialogue, not named, and this is his first full appearance. This is when we get his name. This is when he's actually in continuity. It's not just a flashback or whatever. So, Tomb of Dracula, number 45 from 1976, $20 to $30. All right. So that's been our 5 books for this week. I guess we got 6 because I put in the extra, Phantom X appearance. But that's okay. Looking forward to doing the next video. Next video, I think I'm going to do a Star Wars special. There's been so many Star Wars books getting hot, and people don't know where all these first appearances come. And I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I think I can help you out there. Disney has big, big plans for Star Wars over the next 10 years. Lots of streaming, more movies, lots of stuff going on in the Star Wars world that relates to comic books. And we've already seen, just a mention of Ahsoka Tano being in the next Mandalorian series. I've seen that book, the Clone Wars #1, her first appearance, has gone crazy in price. But people are asking over $1,000 for that book now. Anyway, we'll do some Star Wars specs next time. So hopefully you'll tune in for that. Hope you've enjoyed the video today. Just remember, Wednesdays are new comic book days, but every day is old comic book day. All right, this has been Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and we'll see you next time.